Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nano. We've got a interesting day today. We got an $800,000 gross jackpot guarantee, and we got a lot to get to because the scratches and odds literally are just rolling in.
Matriculating in, 14 on tap today. First and third are off the turf. After you saw the rain all week, so we're going to keep it together, we hope, for the rest of the day, and first and third off the turf, and that's really about it.
Race number 9, $800,000 gross jackpot guarantee in there. You see it there, $800,000. That's races 9 through 14, so it'll be sort of a twilight rainbow 6 this afternoon, and we're going to get right to the action. We've got lots to talk about. Brian's got an early pick 5 ticket.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look at this. It's $24. The single is in race 2. That is number 6, Global Empire. You see a 4x4 in race 3 and 4, and then another single in the 5th, and that is number 9, Kingston Queen, Jose D'Angelo.
Like both of your singles in there, so $24, very affordable ticket. Let's get right to this first race, and as Brian mentioned, 1 and 3 races, 1 and 3 are off the turf. So race 1's going to move to about 1.70 miles odds on the Tapeta. Maiden claimers, 3-year-olds and up $16,000. Scratch the number 11. You went with the number 3 horse, and here we'll start with that with Charming Charlie.
Yeah, I didn't change anything in this race, Ronnie, and there's not a lot of Tapeta form anyway, so I went with the best turf horses regardless. Charming Charlie has had trips in his last 2 races. Hopefully with clear sailing we can get it done. I know he ran on the Tapeta 2 back. He had a nightmare of a trip that day too.
Talking about clear sailing, I'm going to show you the performance of the number 9 Strong. Again, we're going to go back to May 7th, the top of the stretch to the wire. Of course, you see this is on the turf, but you're going to just see him getting, he's the number 4 that they just watch it as a roll. Just basically gets sawed off here at the 8th pole. And I thought he was making an okay move, and there it is. It just, he had nowhere to go. And then he was just swallowed up in the stretch. Liam McCannis has Lionel Reyes up. And, I just thought this horse with a clean trip, albeit on the Tapeta, would run well.
And the last part of my note on that trip was he did re-rally again, to his credit. So, yeah, he would have been right there with a clean run.
Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon, a mile in the 16th on the all-weather Tapeta. Maiden claiming 3-year-olds and up 12.5. That single of yours, one of your singles on your ticket, is the number 6 Global Empire, who's dropping to the 12.5 level today.
Yeah, I don't know if Mr. Louis just wants to get a win here or what. The drop is a little dicey. I understand that, and we have yet to run on Tapeta, so there are question marks. We saw that yesterday with a heavy favorite that didn't necessarily handle it. But, boy, Ronnie, this horse lays over this field to me.
The number 11, Kanthar Tana, is dropping to the 12.5 level, rallied to finish 4th. That was against 25 maidens, going a mile 70. Hey, it's leading trainer, Saffie Joseph Jr., and getting Tyler Connor, who's riding a bunch of horses today for Saffie.
Yeah, came down to ride from the Mid-Atlantic to ride a bunch for Saffie, and several of them are going to be live. So, this is a solid 23% jockey, so I would think he's going to put a few on the board today.
Yeah, we both had some interest in Take My Shot, the number 5 horse in that race. Third race today. This is the other one that moved from the turf to the Tapeta. Now will be run at about 1 mile and 16th on the all-weather, so make sure you write that down. It's an allowance optional claimer for state-bred fillies and mares, 3 and up. The optional claiming price is $20,000. Scratch the number 3 horse in here, and that is Bravo Zulu. And we'll start it off with the horse you have on top, and that is Riveting Spirit.
Yeah, down inside, does have some really good Tapeta form. You could argue that his Tapeta form, her Tapeta form, is better than the turf form that she had. But I look at the races 2 and 3 and 4 back. They were all strong efforts with figures that fit right with this group.
Well, the number 4 Z First was a really sharp maiden winner on the turf 2 starts back, and we're going to show you that. But she highlighted her versatility when she broke from the rail and never looked back. That was against the starters going miles 70 yards. So we originally did this for the turf. So we're going to go back and just show you how well she ran on the grass. And what I was trying to point out, we know she can run well on the Tapeta last time, but she was pretty impressive here on the grass. She just drew away from the field.
Yeah, without a doubt, Ronnie. And I think in this race, and you can see her, and we really need to know with the rain yesterday, I think we both agree and felt that Tapeta did tighten up a little bit, and speed held pretty well. And I would think, Ron, of all the horses in this field with the move to Tapeta, she benefits the most. I went back. She's the one change I did make to my early pick 5. I added her to the ticket.
Yeah, I had her on there, but definitely for the turf, but kept her up there. Then I got the number 6, and that is Ogalala, who's stepping up to face winners. Stalked early, drew clear late to defeat special weight runners. Of course, that was 1 mile and the 16th on the grass. The daughter of social inclusion. I think sits behind the pace.
Yeah, I did not like this horse at all last time, and she looked really good winning. Credit to Ralph and the team to get her ready off a long, long layup. She is facing winners, but she's only supposed to move forward today off that return.
And what about Yolanda's Pride? That's the other one.
Yeah, she's certainly in the mix, too. I mean, she's down inside. She's got some speed and versatility as well. You know, she's unproven a little bit on the Tapeta, or at least I should say her races on the Tapeta aren't as good, but I like the fact that she's got the speed to be involved.
Race 4 this afternoon, about 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $12,500. A couple of scratches in here of the number 5 and the number 11 horse. And you have the number 9. I want to hear about this horse because I didn't use it, and that is J.P. Cornetta.
Yeah, let's take a look at a stat, too, and it'll help kind of enhance this a little bit for Amator Sanchez, who struggled a little bit at the Royal Palm meet. I just think he had such a huge championship meet. But check this out, 13 for 36. 36-3-11 Tapeta sprints right here at GP. So this is kind of his jam a little bit. And, you know, this is a barn that, you know, sometimes when you win at a high percentage during one meet, the horses are now out of their conditions or they're against better the next time, and they have to kind of back it up so you can struggle a little bit. But this is a barn that I think is on the precipice of maybe to get ready rolling again.
Now, is this your long shot today?
No.
No? Yeah, just
No,
like it.
how about
Good. I
that?
like that even better. The number 8 Astro Ride drops to the 12.5 level with blinkers added. Stepped up off the claim by one, the only, Rohan Crichton. Dueled for the lead and weakened to finish 4th, but that was against 12.5 maidens going 5.5 on the all-weather. Recently posted gelding as Miguel Vasquez in the saddle. I don't know when this horse was gelded, but he is listed as a gelding today.
Yeah, we'll leave that to another day. We need more than 45 minutes for that discussion. This horse had not a bad trip, but it was just, you know, fried dueling in between runners last time. That's not ideal. Today we're outside the speed. Rohan, you leave him out at your own peril.
Let's go to race number 5 this afternoon. 5 1/2 furlongs on the all-weather Tapeta. Claimers Fillies 3 or 4 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life. And we did have a scratch of the 12 and 14. Please note the number 13, trained by Tammy Levy, Senorita Salsa, is getting in and will compete today. So you get a full field of 12 in there. And I think the middle pick 4 starts a little later when we have 14 race card. I got to check that out. It's race number 7 today. So we do have 3 pick 4s this afternoon. How'd you see this race?
Well, you know, this is another one of my singles in here to get out. Kingston Queen, to me, is going to be tough for Jose. Take a look at another trainer stat here for Jose D'Angelo. And, you know, he does everything at a high percentage, but I think this one is just a little bit ramping it up just that much more. Claiming sprints here on the Tapeta at Gulfstream, 6 for 15, 40%. How about that ROI, Ronnie, for a barn, like I said, that's about 30%. This is a type of race to me where if you don't use Kingston Queen, you've got to use 5 or 6 other horses, because I'm not going to tell you who is going to win if she doesn't, but I think she's going to.
Well, maybe it's a horse like the number 6 horse in here, High Arabian, who's hoping for a clean trip. We want to go back and revisit. We're going to pick this off, excuse me, this horse, turn it on for the wire, and you're going to see her get steadied a couple of times. She is the number 1 that day. Right here, you're going to see the first trouble trip that she had. She just had nowhere to run, just, you know, looking for a spot. And one of those typical, when you got that inside post, you got to try, and you can see she just gets steadies back here. You know, almost Jock has to really put on the brakes. Now you're going to see through the stretch again, just a rough trip throughout. You're going to see it as she comes closer. Once again, now she's showing some interest here. I don't know if she's going to win or get closer, but she's on the move right there. And once again, there's the brakes. You know, just stop the momentum twice in that race.
Yeah, the other thing that you see in that video, too, is even with a clean trip, the winner got loose that day. Yeah. So it wasn't a good race for her style anyway. So maybe she gets a little more speed. Maybe she gets a cleaner trip today. She gets Edwin, too. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, so we'll see how that race plays out. Big field in there, and that is race number 5 this afternoon. 6th race this afternoon is a 1-mile maiden claimer. Fillies and mares 3 and up. $12,500. Scratch the number 9. Please note the number 13 gets in. So once again, another full field. And you went with the number 2 horse in here, Ride Little Girl, from Jessica Campitelli's barn.
Well, you asked for my long shot, so here it is. I mean, you know, we're 20 to 1 on the line. We get some weight from everybody with the apprentice. Franklin Caez aboard, Jose Morelos, excuse me, aboard here. Yeah. I just thought the last race, when the blinkers went on, I thought it was a real forward move. And I know she's got to move forward again, but you look at this field, who are you supposed to be scared of in here? There's no one at all that you're really supposed to be like, oh, I can't beat that horse. So, you know what? She's lightly raced. She seems to be improving. The one race with the blinkers was really good. let's throw the dart at the wall and see if it sticks here.
Yeah, it's an ideal spot to take a long shot in there. I did go with the horse you had in second on top, Irish Samurai, who's stretching out to the mile today after showing steady progress when rallying to finish third against this level. That was going 3/4 of a mile. David Fawkes, 17% with 2 sprints to a route. He's got Jesus Rios atop this daughter of First Samurai, so certainly bred to get the distance today. And then you got the number 11 Indian here, Capidri, who's going to wear blinkers for Safi Joseph Jr., and there's that Tyler Connor again.
Yeah, and she seems to be moving forward in her form. Predictable improvement, second out for Safi, and now third start of her career/form cycle. Typically, that's going to be your best.
Let's go to race number 7 this afternoon, and this one is a 1-mile turf race. Now, this race is on the turf, and please note that turf course is listed as good. The number 6 horse is now getting the ultimate equipment change, first-time gelding. You went with the number. Well, we don't agree on anything today.
I was going to say, I'm actually. It does kick off that middle pit 4. I'm a little glad this race is not in the early or late 5 or the Rainbow, because I have no opinion whatsoever. I would use 5 or 6 or 7 of them. I went with Polynesia here. We get Miguel Vasquez, right? So I think that's a positive. I wouldn't want to take too short of a price at the window, but you know what? Her form has been pretty good, and I like the fact that he ran so well off the long layoff on a huge trainer switch from Chad Brown. Ruben Gracita's done some good work here already.
Yeah, he's got a couple of wins already. I did go with the number 4 in here. Grand David is making his first start since following a well-meant second. That was going a mile in the 16th. Then comes out and has a troubled trip. He's bumped repeatedly. He's the favorite that day before going to the sidelines during April. Victor Barboza Jr. removes the blinkers on the son of Tapiture. It was way back. I know this horse is coming off the bench, but he had a tough trip last time out.
Yeah, and the blinkers come off, so maybe that'll help him, because we've shown this race like 50 times.
Right.
He was the horse that did all the damage, that caused all the problems going into that first turn where he just whacked out the entire field. I like the fact that Amicio gets back aboard, because let's be honest, that was a rough trip this horse put him through last time. Maybe the blinkers just help him settle a little bit early on.
10 horses in the field, and we have only one horse to agree with. So what about the number 8 horse in here? And that's King Silvio, 12-1 for Kent Sweezy.
Well, Kent's another guy that's not going to crank him up early. And you look at the races this one's coming out of. Big Invasion's the best 3-year-old sprinter in the country on turf. Capture the Time is freakishly fast. That race last time when he routed was good. Third start of the career, third start of the form cycle, a Tappet, about a Medaglia d'Oro. It's a big pedigree for Whisper Hill. You know, maybe he can get a piece in here.
The one horse we do agree on, a little further down, both of us, is Tax Code, because this horse is beautifully bred for the turf, being a gelded son of Speightstown, goes to the grass, had that eventful debut at Tampa in the main track in which he was forced out of the start. He got parked wide, and he finished 5th, and he went off the favorite that day. So we'll see how this horse runs this afternoon, Tax Code, and this one in the Eon Hardy barn. We haven't seen Ian here in a while.
No, this horse got beat up at the draw, on the redraw, I should say. When we originally had this race last weekend, he was inside. It's good to see the Godolphin Blue here today. You know what? I would think this horse improves. 2 turns now and the turf.
Yeah, bred for both of those things. Race number 8 this afternoon, about 1 mile and 1/16 on the Peter claiming fillies 3 or 4 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life. Hey, guess what? Another full field of 12 in here. So, excuse me, how did you see this race? You went with the number 7 horse in here, and I'm losing my voice a little bit.
Yeah, this is the best bet of the day. 8. We're not going to get 8-1. If we do, I'd be scared of all heck. We go to Rohan here, and this is a huge move. Let's just take a look at a stat for Miss Mamba as well. Rohan, it's just a broad stat. Here it is, 17 for 46, 37 with a giant ROI, first time in the barn. This horse woke way up last time for Kent Sweezy out of a really, really fast race for the level. We know how good La Rouja is, and she ran off that day, but the third place finisher, Bell's Kingdom, comes back to win too. So I think this horse will be bet pretty hard, and I'm going to try to take advantage of the fact that, you might get 2-1 on this horse by singling in the horizontals that can help this horse get hidden maybe a little bit more.
Well, the horse I had in top was the number 1, Vandalia. Has her claiming tag sliced in half today. Stalked the pace, flattened out. 4th and 16 starter optional claimers for Kent Sweezy. Kent was the previous trainer of your horse that you put on top. I thought this would run well with Chantal in the saddle.
Yeah, and takes a class drop in the races she's coming out of. We already talked about Z First in the earlier on in the card. Nana Fanny was so good last time, so she's getting some serious class relief today.
Well, we're going to take a short break. I'm going to get my voice back, and we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket.
And they're off. Second in the two path. Ground on first inside. Racing. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Master horse racing with the power of daily racing form. DRF has helped players win at the races for 125 years. Now the information you trust is better than ever. Get exclusive late-breaking news from our reporters at tracks across the country. Position yourself to win by adding buyer speed figures and the new DRF formulator to your handicapping arsenal. Go to drf.com today. Use coupon code DRF2020 to get a free formulator card and start winning.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Still breakfast at Gulfstream Park here. 11:12 in the a.m. Ninth race today. 6.5 furlongs maiden optional claimers where the Rainbow Six is going to start quickly. Let's check out my ticket this afternoon, and you can see it's $43.20. Hey, I had luck with it yesterday. Finally hit
That's
for
right.
$384. We'll talk about this race. The race number 10 is the Martha Washington. I love the number 7, Omi Chital in there for Fausto Gutierrez. Then I got some coverage all the way down. I got the reverse pyramid today, and lots of coverage. Race number 12 was a real head-scratcher for me. The not surprising went with Treasure King, the California Frolic, and Bon Marco. And in the last, I just thought that the number of 4-horse, 6-1 on the morning line might be able to run well. That one, of course, so we'll see what happens in that last race of the afternoon.
Yeah, and I just want to golf clap to you because you've been threatening this thing for quite a while, and you finally kicked the door down yesterday, and maybe everybody that played along's got a little extra in the bankroll today to fire.
Yeah, I've had more 5 or 6 than that's humanly possible in there. So,
Well
but
done.
you know, that's the beauty of that bet. So, 43.20 for me. Once I get off my 43.20, I didn't have a chance. So, getting to this 9, 6.5 furlongs, maiden optional claimers, fillies and mares. And how did you see it?
Well, Rosie's halo for me. We've talked about it. Here's Safi, second time out. Tyler Connor, Ronnie mentioned him already. He's a high percentage jockey. He's coming down. And I thought this horse ran well with a kind of a negative flow to this race, her debut too. And 12-1 was a little odd that day. They maybe didn't like her, but now it's behind her. She's only moving forward to me.
And I think you got a stat?
We do have a stat. Let's just check this out. Yeah, good point. Thank you. We're going to bring that up now for Safi. And here it is. Maiden, second-time starters, maiden claiming dirt sprint. So it's ups the ante even a little bit more. 36%, 259. He's our leading trainer. How's that possible? Last 5 years, too. So it's an extended stat as well.
I want to go back and show you a replay of She's a Spitfire and Adios Baby last time out. We're going to pick it up at the top of the stretch. And you're going to say, She's a Spitfire, who's the 7, has the lead in that race and was doing all the dirty work, as you're going to see, and just comes to the top of the stretch. And you see she's in a battle with me, Chitosa, who's the big favorite that day. And she runs okay, but here comes the closers in that race, and she gets swallowed up. And the reason I wanted to show this, one of those closers in the inside is Adios Baby. So they're going to repeat this afternoon. Maybe She's a Spitfire for Kent Sweezy, Miguel Vasquez last today at 6.5 furlongs.
Well, you just watched the replay. Who ran the better race? It was clearly She's a Spitfire,
right.
Doing all the dirty work up front, whereas Adios Baby comes in and reaps the rewards of that. So those are good things to pick up on.
Let's go to race number 10 this afternoon. It's our first of 2 stakes races, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Turf is good. Phillies 3-year-old, 75,000. It is the Martha Washington. Scratch the 2. Jockey on the number 6 is Miguel Vasquez. Late pick 5 time.
Yeah, it's a real quick $40 here. We'll get to this race in a second. Number 2, Mr. Tito's in a tough one in the 11th. The other stakes in the 12th, I'll go with Treasure King. We're going to show a replay of California Frolic. It was awesome. The deep spread in race 13. We'll kind of throw a blanket at that one. And then a bold one in the 14th, Frosted Armor.
Frosted or More in the number in 14th. That's the number 3 horse in that race. Getting back to the Martha Washington, my best bet of the afternoon was the horse, and here's number 7 today, Omi Chito. And we're going to go back and show you the performance of both that horse and Lover Lots in the Honey Rider, and we're going to pick it up at the top of the stretch to the wire when Omi Chito is the number 6 horse in here. I just thought it was a pretty good race. You know, has the lead but gets collared in this race by Ocean Safari. And is it a similar situation where Lover Lots closes to be 3rd in here?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, these two horses ran so well, and Lover Lots is back on quick rest, and Fausto just having a huge Royal Palm meet. He's got our old girl, our favorite Latruska, running in another Grade 1 today. But yeah, these two definitely hit hard. My question is, now we're facing a couple that might be just as good, if not better than them.
And when you went with the number 1 in here a little further down, and that is Sister Luann.
I went with the 2 Saffies. Sister Luann's down inside. We can save all the ground. I thought that was a big run last time in the wait a while. First time facing winners. First time on turf. She loses by just a quarter length to Leah Marina. I thought it was a big effort. Now she's fresh. Saves all the ground down inside.
The number 5, Miss You Ella, now in the Saffie Joseph Jr. barn. This is a daughter of Declaration of War by Warfront, makes her local return to first start. She finished 4th behind Consumer Spending and Breeders' Cup winner Pizza Bianca in the $100,000 Memories of Silver. That was while in the Chad Brown barn.
Yeah, Royal Ascot bound Pizza Bianca, who I know you love so much, for Bobby Flay. This is a scary horse because, let's just be honest, this is a big class drop for this horse today.
And you made a great point with Lover Lots coming back on short rest.
Yeah.
We showed her 3rd behind Omi Chito in the Honey Rider, but goes back to the grass. Was a strong 2nd against 75 optional claimers, going a mile 70 on the Tapeta. Always respect Ron Spatz, and that's where you get the jockey change to Miguel Vasquez this afternoon.
Yeah, big move there. Ronnie had a couple of them. Why run 2 when you only need 1? That thing.
We are cruising right along with 3 races to go here. The 11th, a mile and 16th, an allowance optional claimer, 3 and up. I went with the 1 Tapsational. Is going to break from the rail after game outing against those 20 optional claimers, in which he set a pressured pace, was headed in that race, and fought back to win by a neck for Kathleen O'Connell with Chantal in the saddle.
He was so good last time, and Chantal dragged him home, and he didn't want anybody to get by him. I'm wondering if there's a little more pressure today. Maybe he regresses, but I'll tell you what, if he runs back to that race, he's going to be tough.
The number 2 who you have on top, Mr. Tito, stretching out to the mile and the 16th today.
That's the question. The mile and the 16th, there's no doubt about it, but I think the flow of this race is going to help him. I like where he's drawn to.
And the 5, Clapton, back after following a productive campaign against those state-bred allowance competition. Sort of an ambitious outing behind White Barrio in the Florida Derby. It's a son of brethren. This is the spot.
Yeah, it is the spot. He's another that's got to answer the 2-turn question.
Our next stake race, 1 mile and 1/16th on the turf. The turf is good, 3-year-old, 75,000. The not surprising, no scratches, and both of us went with Treasure King on top.
Well, he's the other kind of class horse. Saffie's going to run the filly earlier that comes down, and here's another one too on a trainer switch. You know, she was in a tough group. Let's put it that way. He was at Belmont. You know, it was the winner last time, Napoleonic War, was 2nd in a Grade 2 in his next start. So this is the class here. He's won at Tampa on the turf, and I think he gets some relief in here today.
Well, we're going to go back and show your performance by California Frolic, Bob Marco, and Old Town Road. That was May 7th, and it was the English Channel. You're just going to watch at the top of the stretch of the wire. Old Town Road has the lead right now. Bob Marco is battling for 2nd in here. And who wins it? California Frolic, who you haven't seen yet.
We promise you he wins. He really does win. Where the heck is he? Ron, nobody stopped in this race, and here he comes. It was his turf debut. My goodness, this was awesome. I'm a believer. You see the race there. They all went around the track together. Somehow he swooped them all in a race where they weren't stopping. Do not ignore this horse right back.
Absolutely. Race 13 this afternoon, a 1 mile claim of 4 and up, $6,250. Hey, no scratches. 11 in the field. I went with the 10 Devoted Kitten. It goes to the Jose D'Angelo barn after the claim. Hopes to rebound for the new connections after coming up empty. I got this level and distance. The barn is strong with new claims, and you're getting Franklin Gonzalez Jr., who had a win for them yesterday.
I went 5 deep. I don't have a strong opinion at all. I'll throw a blanket on it. Jose off the claim, 29%.
Let's go to race number 14 this afternoon. And I got my long shot in here, and you got a single in here with the 3. Mine is the My Man Flint, the trouble 4th. Checked at this level on the turf, 2 starts back. Returns to the grass, rallied to finish 3rd in the race move from turf to Tapeta. So I'm going with that performance 2 back to get a price for Michelle Nihei. Jesus Rios atop this gelded son of Flintshire.
Listen, it's a wide open race. This horse is lightly raced with some upside, so I definitely see where you're going there.
Yeah, and you got Frosted Armor, who's stretching out to run 2 turns.
Listen, I wasn't going to give out a $200 pick 5, so I singled at the end. I think this horse is going to be in front. If I'm fortunate enough to get there, it'll allow me to bob and weave a little bit.
We're going to dive right into the lightning round this afternoon, but not even taking a breath. And we got a big news on Sunday.
Well, of course. I mean, we're going to have a mandatory payout in the Rainbow. The graphic's going to tell you they're expecting $3.5 million. One of your co-hosts is going to tell you it's going to be a lot more than that.
Yeah, I still owe you lunch for the other time, so
geez.
we'll see.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, we'll go double or nothing. We'll go double or nothing in here. You know, we got a couple of best bets and long shots on today's card. What's your best bet today?
Yeah, Miss Mamba, who I don't want to get 8-1 because I'd be scared like heck, but that's her in race 7. Like I said, I'm going to single her in some exotics because I think she'll be pretty heavily bet.
Yeah, and I got the Omichito, who I really like today in the stakes, so they're at 3-1 in there. What's your long? Oh, you got that long shot 20-1.
Yeah, I'm going to try to blow things up here with Little Miss Ride Little Girl, 20-1 in race 6. It's another race that kind of falls through the horizontal crack, so I'll probably just play her across the board.
And yeah, my man Flint, we just talked about in there. I'm trying to get that horse to go back to the turf with a clean trip in there, and those are our best bets and long shots today.
Yeah, and we got to show this yesterday. Running Memories, right back, just walloped them again. She is in raging form right now. Stakes double now in the Bay Harbor Islands. Look at her running off the screen. By the way, look at these splits on the Tapeta. She doesn't care. Just blows this field away.
Ridden by Kevin Krieger. That was nice to see him get a victory today. And this was very, very impressive. But we got to mention that Miss Ormat didn't break well in there. To run second, that was a pretty good race.
It was, because we know how she wants to motor early. It took her completely out of her game.
Well, we're going to go catch our breath. We're going to turn it over to Pete, and then we'll be back here for race number 1. Good luck, everybody.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.